I definitely consider myself a very resilient person. I was born with hemoglobin SC disease, which is a form of sickle cell disease, and I've never let it stop me. Education has always been everything to me. My parents made such a big sacrifice coming to the U.S. Kscholastic has been in service for 13 years now. We're not just teaching skills that they can use in the classroom, we're teaching skills that are life skills. They extend beyond the classroom. My name is Carla Machado Barkis, and I am the owner of Kscholastic Inc. Tutoring Services in Houston, Texas.
And Carla joins us along with Leanne Raymond. Her kids receive tutoring from Kscholastic. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us today.
Absolutely. All right, Carla, you know, a lot of people, I grew up around the world, and a lot of people don't realize in America that education, we make it free to, obviously it costs through taxes and things, but every child has access to education. Not every country has that.
That's right.
You came over here when Venezuela had, you know, the upheaval in the political system. You had to get out of the country.
Yeah, that's right.
Why did y'all choose Houston?
So we had some family in Houston. My aunts and uncles were in Houston, and we wanted to be somewhere where we knew people. So it was in 1995 that we moved to America. And I'm so grateful that my parents did that, because I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had they not moved.
With that said, you had a different view of education. Like, you know, we have kids that go, oh, I gotta go to school today. You were like, I want to go to school. But it was tough, because when you moved here, obviously one of the things you had to get used to was a whole nother country.
For sure.
But the other thing was you didn't even know English.
I did not, and I picked it up pretty quickly because I was so young. I was 7 years old. For my brother, he was in middle school. He had a little bit of a harder time, but I ended up becoming a Spanish teacher first, because I wanted to teach kids a second language, because it's so important to learn a second language, and I wanted to help others that were struggling to learn Spanish like I struggled to learn English.
Yeah, and one of the things that kept you going is you watched your parents sacrifice, because they didn't have a lot of money. There were just a lot of challenges that you all faced when you first came here. Yeah,
I mean, they're a huge inspiration to me. Moving to the U.S. at the age of 37, which is the age I am now, I can't imagine picking everything up and moving, not speaking the language. So I am just so grateful to them.
All right, became a Spanish teacher. If you were a teacher, I think you were automatically a mentor. You know, I oftentimes say kids are in the classroom longer with a teacher at times than they are with their own parents. What were some of the things that you were seeing that made you think, these kids need some extra help, but I don't know that I can squeeze it into my regular teaching day?
That's right. So in a regular teaching day, you have roughly 45 minutes with 20-something students, and you don't really get to focus.
At a time, because when the bell rings, a new group of students comes in.
And you don't really get to focus, you know, with each individual student. And so when I started tutoring on the side after school, I realized that I could make a much bigger impact in each student's life by really being able to figure out their learning needs, and tutoring one-on-one was just great.
And one thing that you realized too is that it wasn't just about, okay, if you're tutoring them in Spanish, that it was the curriculum, also just how to study, how to take notes, how to take a test.
That's right, and we started an executive function skills program for that reason, because we want to teach life skills, organization, like you mentioned, time management, task initiation, and so many things like that that so many kids struggle with. Even adults struggle with it. So if we teach them these skills young enough, you know, they'll have them for life.
So sometimes it's not really the subject matter that's the problem, it's just getting to it, right?
That's right.
All right, you decided, okay, I'm gonna jump off the ledge and make this my business and leave the classroom, but still teach kids. But then you came across a health challenge. You were accepted to the MBA program in Barcelona. That had to be exciting, but there's a health crisis that you were dealing with, and you and I kind of share a little bit of that.
Yeah, so it was in 2012. So I was born with a form of sickle cell disease called hemoglobin SC disease.
And I have sickle cell trait.
And so in 2012.
She's like, like we're part of a club.
I don't meet a lot of people that do. So basically at that time, I decided that I needed to defer my acceptance to business school and focus on my health, focus on myself, and tutoring allowed a flexible schedule where I could make my own schedule, rest when I needed to. And so that's how it all got started. From there, I started hiring tutors from Rice University, University of Houston, and now we have over 50 tutors.
Wow. All right, and doing all kinds of subjects now.
Yes, all subjects.
Leanne, for you, you have, how many kids now?
We have 3 kids.
You have 3 kids. All right, what were you seeing in your kids that you felt like this extra help would be something that they needed?
Well, our oldest, when we first, I knew Carla because we worked together at Episcopal High School, so I knew that she had gone on and started this business. And when our oldest was applying to high school, she needed to take a standardized test called the IC, and there was really no guidance out there how to prepare her. So.
And you come from, your major was in education at UT, and you were in the education system, but still, that was something that you weren't familiar with. There's so many things that we're not familiar with today that are, I think, different than when we were in grade school.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, you know, I needed a resource to prepare her for this high school test, and so reached out to Carla, knowing she had her business, and hooked us up with a tutor. And then with the other children having different needs in school, we've used all of her services, I think, with the executive functioning tutor. My son's school teaches Latin, and so we needed a Latin tutor, so that we got Virginia through Carla as well. So
yeah, and it's different when parents sometimes think, oh well, I'll help my child, right? I remember thinking that with my son, and I was like, okay, just the dynamic of a parent trying to help your child is different than picking up, going someplace, knowing you're going to be in an atmosphere of learning still, and it's not a parent.
Oh, correct. Yeah, I don't want to be that person to stand over the homework. That's not a fun role for a parent. So.
Yeah,
and we actually do most of it in home.
Oh, nice.
So yes, in the comfort of their home, where they feel best and they're able to really open up, and we can figure out their learning needs.
Yeah. And what's great about that is that, of course, it's one thing when you have to rush and pick up your child and get them to a different location than school or home, and so that way you can come into the home and it's where they're already going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they get used to that space of being a space for learning. All right. You mentioned earlier that the great thing about you is that you've expanded, but you also can deal, again, with children's different needs and specific needs. How does the process start? You start with a meeting and understanding exactly what the child is needing?
Yes, so the parent will call us and explain what's going on in school, and from there we figure out, are they needing specific subject tutoring, test preparation, SAT, ACT, or are they needing executive function skills?
Yeah.
Because like I mentioned a little bit ago, a lot of it is just getting organized and making a plan for the week. Yeah. And our executive function program has accountability coaches, so every few days they check in with the student to make sure they're doing what they said they were supposed to be doing.
Okay, so we're like, where were you when I was in school? Oh wait, you weren't born yet. Okay, all right. So one of the things that sets you apart, of course, is you're owned by former teacher. Right? You understand that what the classroom is like and what out of the classroom is like. Led by moms and former educators, personalized guidance, lasting lessons. Impact is beyond the classroom, because those same executive functioning skills that you're teaching them as kids, they will carry with them throughout life, whether it's in a boardroom or just running a household. What would you say to a parent who's just watching their child struggle through and feels kind of hopeless and helpless on some things?
Don't let them struggle. I mean, if you're able to find a tutor and someone to work with your child to just help them gain that confidence at a time that they need it, it's just a game changer.
Yeah. All right. So your kids are actually here today, and they're too cute for us not to see. So these are two of your kids, Leanne.
This is Jack and Lizzie, and this is
honey.
Mila.
How are you?
This is little Mila, my 3-year-old.
All right. So how did the tutoring help you?
It helps me a lot in Latin, because I joined like in the middle of the year, and I really needed help in Latin, and it's helped.
Yeah, I took Latin for 8 years. I thought I was going to be a pediatric neurosurgeon, but I didn't have her tutoring services to get to the MCAT. But so Mica Parastella Mira Quinum Cis Tambella.
Do you know that
Twinkle,
yet?
twinkle, little star. Yeah, it's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And how did it help you? I don't know why I remember that and what it's useful for, but and how did it hold that microphone close to you?
It really helped me just prepare for my test going into high school next year.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
there
you
are so many
much,
people out
Deborah.
there who need this. I know our education system is under a lot of pressure.
Yes.
And so you're a part of relieving some of that pressure. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
To see Carla's full Cadillac Shaping Houston story, log on to shapinghou.com to learn more about Kscholastic Inc., Kscholastic Inc. tutoring services. Visit kscholastic.com.